Well, I finally saw Black Panther Wakanda Forever. I saw it in IMAX because I have to see these Marvel films in IMAX. But what did I think? Welcome back, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Katrina and I make bookish content here on this channel every week and then movie reviews just like this one here at the weekend. All of my movie reviews are spoiler free and I will leave a playlist of my recent reviews linked up above. Yes, I finally went to see Black Panther Wakanda Forever. There was two reasons why I didn't rush out to see this one. Black Panther is not my favourite film in the Marvel Cinematic Multiverse saga. However, I did watch it as part of my watch of the whole thing, and I only watched it that once. I enjoyed when Black Panther was part of the Avengers saga. I'm not saying I don't like Black Panther as a character, but just that film wasn't my favourite, and therefore I've only watched it once. Additionally, I've been really busy recently, and spending 3 hours in the cinema just didn't fit into my schedule until I literally took a day and spent the day at the cinema and saw two things back to back, both which were fairly long. As in, like, I got up, I drove to the cinema, I came home, I had dinner, I'm filming this and now I'm going to bed. So that's the two reasons that I've waited this long to go and see it. However, I did still do it properly. I go and see Marvel films, Star Wars films, anything that's used any sort of IMAX cameras in its filming. I do pay the extra to go and see them in IMAX so that I can experience them fully. There was me and about 6 other people in the IMAX screen at 10 a.m. this morning, which shows you that everyone who wanted to see it in IMAX has already seen it. But there was like 3 or 4 IMAX showings today. I couldn't find a normal showing today. That's why I ended up seeing it in IMAX. No, I did plan to go and see it in IMAX. It was always going to be an IMAX seeing for me, which is why I chose the cinema that I went to. So visually, it is beautiful. There's some wonderful shots of nature, there's underwater shots, there's shots in the sky, there's shots of like lush greenness, there's shots of science labs, everything that you imagine from Black Panther, the first movie, is in this movie, and the shots of Wakanda that we have from the Avengers movies also in this movie. And so it was beautiful to see it on the IMAX screen, and you could sort of tell the way the film had been filmed and edited, and it was pleasing on the eye, that is for sure. Sound wise, there were some really interesting sound editing choices. I think they went a little bit hard on the kind of like muffled, muted, almost like silence plus moments. I think a couple of those were used really well. A couple of them were overused. I was like, oh, we're doing this again now? Okay. And there was a really nice moment in the sort of pre-Marvel screen coming on, in that scene before the Marvel screen comes on. It's got the Queen and the Princess mourning the loss of the King, and obviously it's especially poignant because Chadwick Boseman had died, and so that moment was lovely, and silence was used very well in that moment. And at the end of that bit, when the Marvel bit where the kind of the characters all come in the video into the Marvel letters, you know that bit, that the cinema was just completely silent for that bit, which is great because they were all clips of King T'Challa, Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman in those parts. And so that was quite almost like moving before the movie had started. Obviously they had a funeral for the King, for Black Panther, and it must have been quite emotional for the cast to film, and so I think that it was very appropriate that those moments were silent. But then later on in the film, sort of silence and muted voices or muted surroundings, a lack of any background noise was used, but I think it was overused. Like I say, a couple of them worked really well, but once we'd gone past that, I was like, oh, it's just happening again. There was also a couple of those moments that were paired with your kind of Matrix style, like especially like slowed down, bending over backwards, jumping up high type of moves, which again, a couple of those can be very effective and is what we come to expect from a Marvel film. However, I felt like they were overused a bit as well. I was like, oh, here we go with another one of those. And you can imagine that in a 3-hour film, you know, once you have the trailers, a 3-hour film, those are going to get used more frequently, but it was just a little bit overkill on those ones. And then CGI wise, I thought everything was done really well. You know, I have an issue with the way that DC does CGI, but I normally like Marvel CGI. On the whole, it was good, but there was some large mammals being used, such as, mainly whales. And I didn't think the CGI of the whales were particularly good. So there's orcas and blue whales. And I don't know if there's another kind of whale that I didn't notice. But the CGI of those and the people with those wasn't great. It very much looked like an animation, which is the big reason I walked out of Aquaman. And so I was a bit like, this isn't great. So my issue with the first Black Panther was that the storyline is fairly contrived, and then you've got some subtitled moments, and then you've got this sort of complex family, traditional way of doing things, hierarchy thing. And that's what I disliked about it. And I think that's what I disliked about this film. Because this film, with it being the queen and the princess being the main focus of the family, it could have been very much a like girl power, amazing, women in STEM type of real push of a film. However, there's a lot to take in, a lot to comprehend, and kind of a lot of thinking to be done to understand what's going on, which is the same issue that I have with Doctor Strange. And I'm not saying I don't want to have to think when I'm watching a movie. However, I watch a movie as escapism, and sometimes if you're challenging me too much, I'm not loving it. You know, I watch a documentary to have my mind challenged a little bit. I watch a Marvel film to, you know, see some action, have some laughs. And so, yeah, I didn't love that about the film. And it's, 2 hours, 40 minutes of like, okay, you need to understand who these people are now and how they relate to the Wakandan universe and how the American government's going to react to that and how the United Nations is going to react to that and then how these women are going to react to it. And then I think that if the film had been shorter and some of these scenes had been less complex, or the pace had been picked up a little bit so that it was a 2-hour film and these things happened a little bit quicker, a little bit pacier, I think I would have liked it more. Because as I say, visually it was very stunning, and from a like girl power perspective and a women in STEM perspective, very good, very powerful. It tied up a lot of loose ends, which I thought was good, and kind of slots into the saga very nicely. We see some characters. There's not many cameos from like other people from part of the universe. However, we see characters pop up from the last Black Panther film, and also a character come up from the end of a more recent Marvel film, no spoilers. She comes up in this one, and so that was a little bit exciting. But on the whole, I didn't have the best time and didn't come out of there feeling positive. I'm glad I've seen it. I'm glad I saw it in IMAX. And so my question of should you pay your cinema going money to go and see this one really depends. If you didn't like the first Black Panther movie, or you didn't love the first Black Panther movie, then no, you shouldn't. Because it's very long. It would be better probably watched at home where you could have a break, or watched at home where you could be comfortable or eating at the same time, or, you know, doing something else at the same time. However, if you are a massive Black Panther fan already, or you love the kind of like, Aquaman, Avatar, those kind of things as part of your like superhero fantasy movies, then visually it is very appealing. Go and see it in IMAX. It does look beautiful on the big screen. But yeah, from my perspective, I'm glad I saw it. However, I kind of wish that I'd just waited to watch it when it comes to Disney Plus, or watched it on my next flight. I don't know. It wasn't my favourite. I'm still not a massive fan of the Black Panther side of the franchise. And so, yeah, I wouldn't not watch it though. But I'm glad I waited and prioritised other things before seeing this one. If you haven't seen last week's movie review video, the other half of my cinema going day, I will leave that linked in the end screen here for you, because I did see a film and was positive about it, which seems to be a rarity these days, and I'm excited to go and see other things that I'm enjoying in the cinema. So please do let me know in comments if there is something particular that you want me to go and watch, and bring my report back to here to you next week as a spoiler-free movie review. Do let me know in comments. Any suggestions for Vlogmas, happily received as well. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, do give it a thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out on next week's movie review video. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on bookish content and Vlogmas content in the week. And I will see you with my next video. Thanks for watching.